Okay, moving on to the third point. And this is the point that I really wanted to make this whole episode about. It is a new idea, relatively speaking. So let me start with the fantasies. So you'll notice that there are a lot of fantasies in that movie. There are a lot of delusions in the movie. I've seen the movie twice. And the first time I saw the movie, I immediately wanted to see American Psycho, the Christian Bale American Psycho, because I hadn't seen it yet. And I thought, man, based on what I know of American Psycho, this seems like American Psycho in a way, right? So I watched American Psycho. It's not really like it at all versus the Scorsese movies I mentioned, but there are some similarities. And one of the major similarities in American Psycho is the delusionary fantasies of grandiosity. And that's because this is all part of these cluster B personality disorders. And in this case, I'm going to home in on narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder, because I think this is very likely the thing that's in common between the Joker character here and the American Psycho Christian Bale character. But it's a different type of narcissism. So it's important to understand that. In the Joker, we have a one-down narcissist, a codependent narcissist, a white knight narcissist. In the extreme case, like taken to the extremes, what white knight, one-down narcissism would look like. In the typical NPD, narcissistic personality disorder cases that you'll read about in the research literature, you have the one-up narcissist who is more like the American Psycho Christian Bale version, or more like the stereotypical Wall Street narcissist NPD type of character that you'd have, who is just feels like he's sort of like this arrogant guy who's on top of the world, can do no wrong, and only occasionally chinks in the armor, falls down into reality, and is then treatable for a short period before he gets enough success going and enough momentum going that he's back up in his narcissistic fantasies. This is the opposite of, or this is the flip side of that. This is the one-down narcissist. This is the type of case that I see a lot more often in my work. A lot of codependent narcissists are looking for help with women online. They think they're the innocent parties. They think they're the innocent person, that they're the virtuous one, that they're the one with good intentions and they're the good guy, and they just need some help. And at that moment in their lives, they've not yet been tested. Why? Because they don't actually have the ability to be a bad guy yet. Like they could be just like an anarchist, right? But they don't have the ability to actually get what they want and be the bad guy. So they actually don't have the ability to be the player. So it's bullshit when they say, I'm purposely going to reject being the player and hating on the player, because they actually have never had that choice presented to them for real. So then what will happen is, if he gets good, and this is the very small minority of guys who go through the game journey or learning game or learning pickup or whatever, and they actually get the skills, then they're finally presented with that option. But usually they don't know that that's happening, and they go down the slippery slope, as I did, and everyone I've seen who goes down this journey does. And only when it's too late do they realize, oh shit, like now I really do understand this. Now I'm down in the dumps, and I got to figure this out. So that's the codependent narcissist, just as I am. So let me put that out there. I'm not hating on anyone or shaming anyone. I know this type of situation so well because I obviously went through it myself, and I've covered that in like dozens of videos already, including a 4-part lecture series called Modern Mating Explained, followed by the 4-part sequel to that called Practical Psychology for Extraordinary Living. I hate the fact that I picked such a long title. So that's the codependent narcissist, the white knight narcissist. In this case, he became the Dark Knight. Actually, the Dark Knight is Batman, right? But in this case, the White Knight is flipped around, gave into the shadow of the White Knight, the Dark Knight. So hopefully you're getting this. I'm going to get into the narcissism, but hopefully you get the White Knight codependent one down part. It's quite obvious that Arthur Fleck's character is the one down in society, and in almost all of his relationships, he's the one down. And what about the narcissist part? Well, here's the thing. Here's how you can tell. Once that one down guy gets a little bit of power or is put up so that he's equal or above others, like the bullies, maybe he's given a weapon, so now he's able to fight back to the bullies. Does he do the good thing where he just defends and that's all? Or does he do like, the superhero thing where he disarms them, ties them up, waits until the law comes to, mete out the law and due process, or does he turn into the bully himself? So does the bullied become the bully, right? Does the bullied become the bully? And then, well, obviously in this case, it's even worse, right? He goes on to actually seek out and carry out like a serial murderer. Not even those who bullied him. It doesn't just turn on the ones who bullied him per se, but actually kills his love interest in his fantasies and her child. This is we don't see this on camera, but this is the implication. And at the end of the movie, where it looks like he kills the psychiatrist that is assigned to him. I think it's the same one that's been working with him that whole time. Anyway, you don't see that, but on camera, but it's implied. And of course, the Joker then, if he fully becomes the Joker character in the comics, really becomes this evil figure, really gives in to that. When the one up becomes the one down, and now is the grandiose. The one down becomes the one up, is now the grandiose one up. And you'll notice that even when he was in the one down, he wasn't a good guy. He just didn't have the power to be a bad guy. So it looks like he's just this helpless victim, which he's a victim, and maybe he's helpless, but it doesn't make him good yet, right? So until you equip him and equal the playing field, you won't yet get to see what he's really made of, what his character is. That is the Joker, the codependent narcissist.